I've got an exciting guest on my show, attorney at law, broker owner, Tim Shaw. So welcome, Tim.
I've admired your show for quite a while, and I'm just happy that you asked me to do it.
For the listeners, he's talking about the 1031 exchange. He's done about a dozen of these, by the way. He likes to sell one house. He's got a big capital gain, and he sells it, and instead of paying any tax on it, and he'll put money down on 3 houses. So he sells one and buys 3. He rolls that gain into the 3 new houses and pays no tax now, and just later, when and if he sells that house, he pays the tax.
People need to understand there's taxes to be paid. If you sell and you touch the money, you've got to pay taxes. Somebody just recently approached me, and they had a deal in January that they closed on. And apparently people misunderstood this COVID-19 rule. The COVID-19 rule gave you a little bit more time. Instead of having the 45 days, you actually get an extension. I think you had to show that it was COVID related or something. But they told me they touched the money. They got the money put in their account. Their accountant apparently told them that they could do that. But I told them, you're going to pay taxes now.
Yes.
There's no way to clean that up. You touched the money. It's tainted and you're going to pay taxes. And it's going to come hard because everything you've written off, you're going to have to pay the recapture tax. And then you're going to pay capital gains. But if it's a short-term gain, it could be higher. But the good news on a short-term gain, you probably don't have any recapture tax. The long-term gains, you've probably written the property off, and now you got to recover, which is the reason what's called a recovery tax.
So I'm a licensed CPA, so I think I know everything. And so when I try to do a 1031 exchange, I touch the money and send it to my brokerage, and boom, my attorney told me later, you just killed the deal. You got to send it to a third party.
You could avoid that by putting in a 1031 exchange. With most real estate investors, you've got to have your plan to end your investments. My plan is just to leave everything to my children.
I want to add a couple things for the listeners. So you heard Tim talk about he's going to roll those gains through his 1031 exchanges into other properties. He's going to actually keep his portfolio. He doesn't plan on really selling it ever. He's going to keep those properties and let them go through in his estate for his heirs. That's a way to never pay tax on those properties. Your heirs inherit them at the current value that they are when they inherit them. In other words, if they sold them right away after they got them, they would pay no income tax on those. And so they would completely avoid taxes. And so from a tax planning perspective, that is like a home run. Tim pays plenty of tax. He's paying tax to the county and the city. He's paying sales tax when he spends any of this money, when he maintains them, when he hires contractors. He's providing jobs, he's providing houses. So in no way is he taking advantage of the system.
This year, I actually sold one of my investment properties. I was under contract to do it. This contract is what was called a lease option. Wasn't very timely for me at the time that I made it, I guess, because who knew the market was going to explode like it did. So I regretted, as I signed those papers, I said, man, this house is going to be worth a lot more in several months than it is today, and I'm signing away this property. I was faced with capital gains and recapture tax, so I didn't really want to take the money, and I put it in a 1031 exchange. Which meant I had to go find some other property. And everybody, that I know is telling me, you're crazy to do the 1031 in this market because you'll never find the bargain properties that you want to replace your investment with. They said, just pay the tax. And I said, well, no, I'm going to do my 1031. And I did. So I went out to look for the bargain properties. And I found a couple of properties that had been on the market for a long time and that they've been pending several times. In the industry, we learned that these properties are on the market. They've been pending. Pendings have dropped. There's a reason why maybe the lenders didn't approve them, or maybe the buyers and sellers just had too many disagreements. For somebody like me, that's time for me to come focus on that property. 1,700 square foot brick corner lot. Had a couple of fireplaces in it. Very nice house. They'd had it listed for like $164. It hadn't sold, been on the market for a while. And even in the remarks, they were critical about the house. So I went and looked at it. Had my men to go up underneath it. We checked the sill plates and the joists to make sure we didn't have any rot or termites. And we checked the plumbing. We checked the electrical. Went all through the house. We checked out the roof. We noted all the repairs that it needed, and today that house is rented for $1,595 a month, which is a good rental income on it. But did I pay $164 for it? No. I sent them an offer for $142,000, and then I went ahead and picked up the phone. I called the agent, explained to them, I'm buying property, and I'm buying it now, and I'm not going to be buying it a month from now. I'm not going to be negotiating. This is my highest and best offer. So go tell your seller that they don't have to worry about this deal falling through. They don't have to worry about getting it appraised. They don't have to worry about somebody knocking the deal out, the banker saying no. If they want to sign these papers 2 or 3 weeks from now, as soon as you can get me a deed, you can have your money. And of course, the agent was thinking, no, they'll never do this. But as I predicted, the seller took it. And that was the thing that cinched the deal, was that it was over and done with. They were going to get their money. They didn't have to worry about it falling through or anything like that. So I was happy to, and I actually had another deal where the realtor owned the property, maybe not such a good deal, but still it works. He had the property listed. It was in a remote area, and it had been on the market for a long time. I called him on the phone. I asked him if he didn't mind if I went and looked at it. And then I called him back and I said, I don't want to offend you. Tell me if I should just look at some other property, but I'm willing to make you a cash offer. It's a take it or leave it situation. We were able to come to a deal 30% less than he was asking for it. We were able to cinch this deal between what I offered him and $3,000. He went up a little bit from my original offer. I brought him back down and we settled somewhere. It's just $3,000 more than what I offered him. And I told him, okay, I would do it just to make the deal happen. But I wouldn't have done it if I hadn't had the time limit. It was a 45 day is all you've got to do your 1031. And that 45 days, I think I was at day 39 when I made that deal. And it was the last of 3. I was really happy because, I told you, I want to sell 1 and buy 3. And so I want to tell you what I did with my income. Off the house that I sold,
So let me butt in real quick.
my income. If you're not in real estate, get in the game. Life is just like Monopoly. Play it in real life. Who wins at Monopoly? The ones that buy the real estate.
Tim, thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, thanks.
Put us some comments down below with any questions from me or for Tim. Until next time, hope you have a great week. One key to getting the best interest rates is to build and maintain great credit. You can always refinance after improving your credit score, which usually significantly increases your cash flow. For a limited time, IdentityGuard.com is now offering my subscribers a 33% discount on their services. And for a few days, they're going to double that. I've been using them for over a decade to monitor my credit. Not only does it monitor my credit, but it also monitors my identity. They search the dark web for things like my driver's license, passport, my credit card numbers, and when they find it, they actually delete it. Consider trying Identity Guard and taking advantage of this generous offer before it expires. This will also support this channel. See the link in the show notes below.